What's up, everybody? This is Dylan, your Beyblade Sensei, master of old school games, and I'm here with a little deck tutorial for you today. I wanted to show you guys my hero deck. This is something I've been working on for a couple of years now, and continue to update. It's kind of like probably top shelf casual, but maybe light on the competitive side. But I've never actually gotten to compete with it. Let's check it out. We got mask charge. These mask changes. And this is what you need. These are to help you get your masked heroes on the field here. And then you've got your polymerizations, miracle fusion. This is great. Fusion sage, basically just another polymerization, right? Because you just add polymerization from your deck to your hand. This is basically just an extra form of polymerization. You can take advantage of fusion materials in your graveyard. I mean, it just keeps going. It's better and better. Emergency call E. Definitely need to run at least 3 of those. Branch. I don't always run this card. There's probably a series of like 3 or 4 cards that I take out and put in depending on what I'm up against and what the meta feels like right now. Of course, you've got your staple spells. Can't live without. Your mystical space typhoons, your dark holes, and your fissures. Moving on to trap cards. This is where it gets very anti-meta and very top tier casual, because with the dragon capture jars, as you know, like 3 out of the 4, a good majority of the strongest archetypes in the game right now are dragons, and that always ends up being true. You know, every generation they come out with new stuff, but there's always a good strong archetype of dragons. So get that dragon capture jar in there. Good old dark hole, hero signal, staple, magic jammer, Regeki break, staple. All must-haves. Moving into your monsters here. It's going to look like a lot of bosses, and that's okay. It's going to work out for you anyway if you run it like this. Because with Elemental Hero Necroshade, with his graveyard effect, anytime that he's in the graveyard, you can just normal summon any of these guys. You can use your normal summon for that. Elemental Hero Avian for your mass changes and fusions. You've got 2 feats. You're going to want to make sure to have at least 2 Shadow Mists. And I'm only running 2 Rottweilers right now, but if I really wanted to be top tier and take this thing up a notch, I should probably be running 3 Shadow Mists and 3 Rottweilers. But I would have to change things up a little bit here. Elemental Hero Sparkman. We have Wild Heart for that back row defense. Elemental Hero Woodsman to help you bring your polymerization and other materials back from the grave. It's a great strategy. If you need it, you can chain that with Branch. That works out great. Elemental Hero Voltic, another light monster if you want to use mass change to change him into Koga. And a couple of other just random, I like to give it a little bit of nostalgic feel. So we got Elemental Hero Burstinatrix and Clayman, because she's hot and he's got really high defense. So that actually does work out for me from time to time. Usually when you're playing this deck, you spend most of the time on the offense, so you won't necessarily find yourself needing Clayman as a defense, but it works great for all your fusions and everything else and the mass changes. And if you can, I mean, if you do end up needing it for defense, then you have it, right? So there's that. It's not something I would run 3 of or anything like that, but you gotta love good old Clayman. Divine Wind, you're definitely gonna want to have 3 of these guys. This is where you get into your mass heroes here. And I usually, because we play somewhere in between like casual and competitive, I don't play a lot of my masked heroes. Not nearly as much as I could. I'm actually trying to gear my deck a little bit more towards that right now. Like, a lot of these monsters I've not had the chance to play yet, but this is something I definitely love to get on the field at some point soon. Mass Hero Dian just added to my collection, one of my favorite. But going back to my regular strategy, I like to use a lot of Great Tornadoes. That usually works out great. Nova Master for more draw power if you need it. And of course, Elemental Hero Grand Merge. That's another great example of and we have Extra Hero Wonder Driver too in there. A lot of these I'm working on trying to work into my strategy. So I've not had a chance to play them yet, so I can't say much about them yet. But I know that Tornado has always done me really good. So let's take a look at this. Let's see if I can try to spread this out some. Try to get a good shuffle in here. This deck usually has amazing consistency. It's not very often I lose because of a bad hand. You know, if I lose, it's usually because I'm outplayed. And that's the thing, when that, you know, when you're getting competitive is when you can't really draw a bad hand. Of course, nothing is impossible either. Watch me bunk this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, this is great. This is great. This is a perfect example. So I'd start things off with Clayman face down, and this is actually one of those times when you would use his defense to your advantage, right? If I was to go first, I'd have had 6 cards there. So let's say your opponent summons any kind of normal or effect monster. Let's give him a 4-star monster with 1800 attack. They attack, Elemental Hero Clayman is revealed. Maybe they set a couple of cards face down on their back row. I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Draw. I draw. Oh, perfect. See? Emergency call E. So I'd play Fissure, take out whatever monster he has the highest attack, and I would sacrifice my Elemental Hero Clayman in order to summon Elemental Hero Necroshade. That's not usually how I get him into the graveyard, but that is one way you can do it. I could play Emergency Call E, and then we could pull out a Woodsman. So when he gets destroyed on the next turn and sent to the graveyard, I might take some life points, and they may very well have a boss on the field at that point. But we can go ahead and activate his graveyard effect to normal summon Elemental Hero Blade Edge, right? And depending on what they have on the field, he can do piercing damage. Right? If I had a couple more turns, if he got destroyed, I'd probably play Woodsman. I'd probably put him in face down defense position. Get attacked. Let's even say that he gets destroyed. Let's give the opponent the upper hand here. Activate Emergency Call E. Elemental Hero Avian. And draw. Trap hole. And there's a lot of different, like you can even activate Necroshade's effect to summon Necroshade without a sacrifice. Right? Their turn, they summon, activate a trap hole, get rid of it. He gets taken out. Now we got 2 Necroshades in the graveyard. I draw. Dragon Capture Jar. Yeah, you can tell that this obviously just got put back together, but you can see the effect. If I had one, two, three, four, 5. Yeah. Let's say that was my starting hand. So I didn't pick those cards out. Like I took them out of, they were in that order. So let's say I drew from that part of the deck. Place this face down. Rottweiler would go face down. Then we have all of this summoning power, right? So next turn, Rottweiler would get taken out. Then you can add another card that includes Elemental Hero and card that includes polymerization in its name, right? So we'd have 2 polymerizations at that point, plus any elemental hero we wanted. I'd use Avian. Draw. Look at that. Beautiful. Polymerization. Fuse my 2 Avians. Or you could actually also activate your mask change instead and change him for Divine Wind, right? And then you can wait the next turn, summon him, and if you had it just needs to be shuffled. But I mean, you have choices, right? There's many different ways you can do it. Either way, you're definitely going to end up with a boss on the field by the end of your second or third turn, at the latest. So, all right, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.